What's going on YouTube? I'm D-Rec and you're watching Argo, where I bring you some of the latest card fight content and updates. In today's video, I'm going to be going more in depth into the results of the ARG Invitational in Philly. If you guys watched my last video, I touched it very briefly while giving out my congratulations to Jason Roberts, also known as the face of LivingProof. So if you guys have been following his channel for quite some time, you know that he does anything and everything Spike Brothers related, with a few matches against other decks here and there. He is another card fighter from Connecticut, so I've gotten the chance to play against him a few times and talk with him and stuff like that. So if you ever run into him and you're a Spike Brothers player, he's the guy that's going to give you the best advice on building around spikes. Guaranteed. He's spent that much time with it. So congratulations to him for first place, and congratulations to the players for our top 16. Going into the breakdown of the different clans that appeared in top now. So if you can look at the pie chart on the screen now, you'll see that there were about 7 different clans that appeared in top, and then further breaking that down, we had several different variants of decks that appeared as well. So we can start with OTT. We had 2 Geese OTT variants, and then we had 2 pure OTT variants that focused more on Silent Tom and Ichikishima. And then for Royals, 3 of the 4 Royal decks were more centrated around building Soul, and then specifically setting up for the Alfred Tarna play. And then you had 1 list that also played the Blaster combo with the Grade 1 Barkle, and then the Grade 2 Lu, and then also Flogel as well, but had that combo versus the Soul building combo between Akane and Pongal and a few other cards as well. And just... oh, and also wasn't playing Blaster Javelin. The 3 other builds were playing Blaster Javelin to search for either Pongal or for Flogel, so you could do the combo more easily and then get your resources back. As well as the 3 builds out of the 4 were playing Scion Rider, so they could search relatively easily for, or not search, but get resources back by countercharging off of an Alfred swing. So stuff like that changes up a little bit. For the 2 Spike decks, they were both relatively similar, with the exception of the trigger lineup. So Jason Roberts was playing a build that was playing, I think, 5-3-2, 4. Right now, it was like playing 5-5-2-4. Yeah, so it was playing 5. I think it was playing 5 crits, 5 draws, or 6 crits, 5 draw, 4 draw, and then 2 stand. He was playing 2 mecha. Whatever the hell, the stand trigger from set 13, and then 4 heals, of course. And then the other guy was playing 8 crit, 4 draw, so a pretty standard trigger lineup. And then essentially both combos were trying to get towards the Hell Art 8 play through using Terrible Linus as a vector for getting to that Generation Break status. And then for bugs, there was that one bugs list that, my goodness, I was not expecting to see, but Machinings do a really good job of abusing the Antlion, Phantom Black, and Zoa play. I wasn't expecting bugs, specifically Machinings, to do well, just because my mentality with V-Series is everyone's trying to ride every turn to get advantage off of gift markers, and then either striding or just proceeding with a turn, because gift markers really add another variant of ability to do stuff without having to stride, which is nice. It's a nice change of pace. You don't have to rely on striding every turn to get advantage. You can now stay on grade 3 and still get a marginal amount of advantage that's not as nearly as bad as what it was before, where everything was GB reliant and you couldn't do anything unless you strode and then started doing stuff, and even then nothing really worked with just the main deck. It had to rely solely on the extra deck, which was like bleh. But yeah, seeing bugs really take off, and specifically Machinings, was just a nice change of pace, and I was really happy to see that something like that made top specifically. So good stuff on that. Same thing for the Nova player, who was playing Victor with 4 copies of Battledore Fighter as backup for the Excel marker. Really solid, and then just, you know, overall nice. And then you had so let's see, it's 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The 2 Bermuda builds, that's 13, 14. So you had 1 Ange Coral and then 1 Ange Riviere. The Riviere build was really interesting because it was playing 14 grade 3s. I actually watched, I think it was round 7 at table 1. It was Adam Weinstein versus that individual playing the Ange Riviere build. And in the last turn, they just had a handful of grade 3s. I'm just like, well, that's a really interesting build, but how do you get around bricking so hard? Because that had the highest portion of cards next to triggers, in the deck because he had 9 grade 2s and 10 grade 1s according to his deck sheet. So it was a really interesting build, and I thought it was hilarious to see a deck running 14 grade 3s and still being very consistent. So kudos to that individual for playing the Riviere variant of that. It was still playing 1 Lucille. Lucille is just an overall good grade 3. And pure Ange, super good. And Ange Coral, still really good. And just nice. It was nice. The Ange Coral deck was really good as well. It was that was run by Jay Hadanoto. He is from Connecticut as well. He attended my states in a few months back when we had states going on in, or not months back, but a month back in July, and he did really well. I thought it was a really interesting list, and I think he won the event, so good stuff. And then lastly, we had the 2 Kagero decks, so I'll make 15-16. And then for those, one of those specifically really picked my eye just because I was like, this changes a lot of perception about Premium. And not about, oh, if this deck made it, then everyone else must be trash. You can't really say that for an event where people who attended it had won other events in the past. So you can't say that the people who attended this event are trash. I would be willing to bet that people would post that on Vanguardians too. Like, oh, this deck made it to top 16. That means that everyone that attended that event must be garbage. And no, that's not true at all. Anyone who made it to the Invitational won their invites by making it to the top tables at other events nationwide. So they're the better players of other players around the country that performed more competitively than others. And you can't say that the event as a the players at the event as a whole are bad because one deck made it to the top. That's just an unprecedented standard that can't be set because of preceding things like the players themselves who earned their spot at the Invitational. So the one deck list that really caught my eye for Kagero was the, I don't think it wasn't the Overload one. The Overload one was cool because it was playing the 1-tech Rebirth, which I loved because I like the Rebirth. But the other one, with the exception of 2 different cards being played in the deck, which was 2 copies of Dumjid and 2 copies of Lava Flow for the Stride, the rest of the deck itself was very standard oriented. It was playing everything out of BTO1 for the V series, like 4 Waterfall, 4 Trial Deck Dragonic Overlord. It was playing Berserk Dragon, Spillover Dragon, Dragon Armor Knight, Aramos, Baris, the vanilla triggers from the Trial Deck, etc., etc., etc. And they were playing those 2 cards, and then added a G zone and said, "Hey, I'm gonna play this," and they made it to top 16 and did really well. Like, thinking about that compared to the public perception of Premium with regards to every combination that's appeared on paper, like the Ichi-Tom play, or Alfred Tarna, or Antlion with Phantom Black and Zoa, or just a bunch of other things that appeared as well. And you gotta think, all these combos exist. They're all really disgusting in competitive play, yet somehow a standard deck with some minor tweaks and an added G-Zone still made top tables compared to other decks. How is this possible? Well, it's possible because maybe the format we all think is super degenerate and disgusting isn't as disgusting as we all think it is, because while on paper, yes, the Ichi-Tom play is super bad and hard to deal with because you can't guard against it if they pull it off. The big portion of that is if they pull it off. If you remember, OTT doesn't have any search opportunity to get their combo pieces relatively easily. They have to draw into everything, and if they don't, well, sucks. And the other thing is also they have to get to GB3 in order to pull off that play. So you're looking at either letting your opponent go to grade 3 first, and then you getting your first stride off, or you going to grade 3 first, hoping you can G-guard that first grade 3 swing against your opponent, and then go into Ichi. But if you don't, then it's like, okay, whatever. And then you also have to deal with how fast other decks are as well, such as Royals and Novas and stuff like that. So you're dealing with decks that can do that, and you're just like, what am I going to do? So to see a deck that's basically heavily standard oriented with some minor tweaks in the G zone do well compared to decks like Ichi-Tom or Geese OTT or Bermudas or Royals and stuff like that, it's just it sets a precedence. Because now you can't say, oh, Ichitam is such a disgusting thing, and everyone who plays is going to win. Well, no, that's not true. This deck made it to top 16. Spikes won the whole thing. And out of all of the OTT and Royal players that attended the event, only 2 pure OTT decks made it to the top table, and 4 Royal decks made it. And even out of that, Spikes still won. That's something you have to really consider heavily now, because this whole precedent that these 2 main decks in Premium are going to dominate did not dominate. They were shafted by something else that no one saw coming. And that's just something you have to think about now when you consider Premium. Are these combos still bad? Yes, 100%. Should they not exist? They should not exist, 100%. Hopefully by tomorrow, or hopefully by today's time rather, we'll see some ban list where this combo gets addressed, as well as a few other combos as well. But that's it for this video, and I'm pretty much done going off about Premium format as something that needs to be reconsidered, because it really does. I know a lot of people really like Standard because it's refreshing, it's nostalgic, and it's removed an element of the game that a lot of players didn't really like. And that's understandable. Not everyone's going to like an extra deck. That's why a lot of people quit Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Got really bad when the extra deck became sort of the set standard for how you go about turn building, and it was just like, forget it. Having something that's more main deck centric, like OG Vanguard used to be, and Limit Break. Limit Break, I think, was the height of the community at the time, and then when Legion format came out, oh my goodness, so many people jumped ship because literally only 2 sets of support. It was just like so off balance. A lot of clans didn't even get support. I think a third of all the clans got support, and it was just like, forget it. Everyone, if you're playing Nubatama, oh, you get a promo Legion. Oh, you're playing Angels, you get a promo Legion. Oh, Bugs, promo. Anything else that's not Kagura or Royals or whatever is a main character in the anime, you get a promo Legion because we don't care. And then we're going to go straight to G. So it really turned off a lot of people, and now that we're going back to just main deck and the promise of consistent support for every clan, like look, Mandala Lord's new skill is really good, I'll go into that later, and then you've got new Murakumo stuff looks really good, D-Robos look really good this time by comparison to their old stuff, Granblue looks good this time by comparison to their old stuff, just everything looks way better and flows way better than their original counterparts, and that's a really good way to start off a new series and a new format by making everything balanced. And that's something that Premium needs a lot of right now. So I'm done talking about it. If you guys have any thoughts about the event itself, or anything about Premium and Standard format, or about the ban list coming tomorrow, leave it in the comments below. I would love to hear it, read it, touch it, see it, smell it, whatever you want to, I don't know. Check out LivingProof's channel. Check out the deck sheets in the link below. Find me on Facebook, Is This Argo? Twitter as well. And yeah, I'm ready to check out. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.